Today we're making 5-ingredient French macarons, and the ingredients are 1 cup powdered sugar, 2/3 of a cup almond flour, 1/4 of a cup granulated sugar, 2 room temperature eggs, and gel food coloring. So now we're going to review the equipment. 1 large bowl, 1 sifter, 1 electric hand mixer, 1 piping bag. If you don't have a piping bag, get a Ziploc bag and cut a hole in it, and then put a nozzle, then put it inside a container, 1 tray with parchment paper, and a glass jar for storage. So now we're going to sift the almond flour. The reason we sift is because we want it to become fine, and if it's not fine, it might, when you bake it might become lumpy, and it gives it a nice shiny coat. So here's unsifted almond flour, and here's sifted almond flour. So now that we sifted the almond flour, here is it, and now we're going to sift the powdered sugar into the almond flour. Even though the powdered sugar is powdered, it still needs to be sifted because sometimes the powdered sugar, if it's in a bag for a long time, it'll become big lumps. So you don't want that to happen, and it'll become lumpy when you cook it, and then you want it to be smooth. So now we're doing it. Here's the unsifted powdered sugar. See these lumps right here? But here's the sifted one with the almond flour. So now that we sifted our powdered sugar and almond flour, we're going to mix them together. Then re-sift them in this bowl, sifter into a different bowl, and then one last time we're going to sift it, and so now that we have the powdered sugar and almond flour done, we're going to get our egg whites and granulated sugar, pour the egg whites into a bowl, and then mix them until they are white. Then we're going to gradually pour the granulated sugar and keep mixing until you have stiff, glossy peaks. And I will show you what it looks like. So here's a stiff peak. It won't fall, and even if you flip it upside down, it won't fall out. That's how it should be. Now we're going to add the food coloring, and we're going to beat it with an electric mixer for 30 seconds. Now that you beated it for 30 seconds, it'll look like this. And then you're going to add add in your sifted powdered sugar and almond flour. Then you're going to fold it until you can make a figure 8 with it, and I'll show you. Now that you're done folding, it's going to look like this. So now you're going to put it inside the piping bag. Reminder, if you don't have a piping bag, just use a Ziploc bag and cut a hole on one of the corners and put a piping nozzle through it. Okay, now we're actually going to... Now it's in the piping bag, and we're going to pipe one circle about ½ an inch apart from each other. So now we piped all of the macaroons, and we're going to gently tap it so that gets rid of all the air bubbles. And if there's air bubbles, when you bake it, it'll get rid of all the skin and start cracking. And after this, you're going to let it sit for 30 minutes. And to tell you that it's done, you'll see that it's not wet and really dry on top. So now that you waited about 30 minutes, you'll be able to touch it, and you'll feel a skin and it won't be sticky. So now it's ready to go into the oven, and preheat your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and then put your macaroons in, and you're all done. So now we baked it for 50 minutes, so it's crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside. It's shiny on the top. The feet grew, and let me taste it. This is really good. This is the best macaroon I've ever tasted. So now we're going to make the buttercream. So first you need ½ a stick of butter, 1/4 of a cup powdered sugar, 1 tablespoon heavy cream, ½ a teaspoon vanilla extract, and a few drops of gel. So first we add in the butter, then we add in the heavy cream, so now we're going to whisk them together, because you want to add the powdered sugar when the heavy cream and butter are mixed together. So and you add the vanilla extract and beat it till it's like you can see no more watery heavy cream. And you add the food coloring, a few drops, so now that we've piped all of our macaroons, this is what a perfect macaroon looks like. So now, time to place one.